So good morning, everyone. And today we are going to talk about
Good morning, ma'am.
Today we are going to talk about what are the 7 rules of communication. The 7 rules that can help you communicate, whether you're making an agenda,
Yes.
whether you are writing a business letter, whether you're writing a proposal, whether you're writing anything under business. Can be a letter, can be a memo, can be a circular, can be a notice. So communication comes handy whether you're writing a formal letter or an informal letter. So what are these 7 rules that you have to take into account?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the 7 rules are, ma'am, clear, concise, coherent, correct, complete, and
Concrete.
Okay.
concrete. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Concrete or courteous
What do you
last.
understand
Yes, ma'am.
by
ये
coherent?
7C होता है.
Okay. What do you understand by coherent?
Coherent. Yes, ma'am. Complete करने के बाद उसको सुधार करना.
Anybody?
Correct हो गया.
Coherent.
Ma'am, logical. Ma'am, logical.
No.
Theory, policy,
You spoke
argument.
about the 7 C's of communication. I was not hinting at the 7 C's of communication. That is very technical. So when you that is also true. So whenever you are communicating, you have to take into account the 7 C's of communication. And Pratesh spoke about
Yes, ma'am.
coherent. What is the term coherent? What does it mean? Anybody? Only by knowing the word will not be enough.
Ma'am, yes,
You know-
ma'am. I'm forming a
1 minute.
sentence.
You
Okay, ma'am.
know the word. You know that there's a word coherent which is important in communication and which is under the 7 C's of communication. You know the word. Fine. But if you do not know the meaning, what is the use of the word?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Coherent
easy
means
to easy to understand.
clear,
Ma'am,
easy,
easy
and
to understand.
logical.
No, coherent means
Some ideas thought.
linking ideas. You are already studying conjunctions, how to link one word with the next, one sentence with the next, one paragraph with the next paragraph. So when you're writing business communication or when you're making a speech, cohesiveness is very important. It should be coherent. It should be linked. It means it should stick to the topic. Stay with the topic that you're talking about. Right. So yes, there will be some presentation on what are the 7 rules of communication. I'm not talking about Pratay, I'm not talking about the 7 C's of communication. That is different. In business communication, there's something is always technical. The 7 C's, the 10 rules, the 5 W's and 1 H.
Yes, ma'am.
We go by numbers. That is how students remember things. So let us take a look at the 7 C's of communication. I know the agenda today was talk time and conversation workout, but then let us take a look at what we have for the 7 C's of communication. The 7 rules of communication. Hang on, let me share the screen with you. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Pratay, please switch on your camera. Success starts with communication. Success, you know what success means? Success starts with communication. If you want to be successful, if you want to win, be sure of your communication because success starts with communication. Good communication can take you wherever you want to. So great communication, however, brings unlimited opportunities. So great communication, if your communication is good, that will get you a lot of opportunities. And what are these opportunities? It can help you get a job. It can help you in interpersonal communication when you are communicating with your group. It can help you in understanding other people's ideas, thoughts. So great communication brings unlimited opportunities.
Ma'am, it also helps in interpersonal relationships
Yes.
if our communication is good.
Relationship. So the quote says, speak in such a way, communicate in such a way, talk in such a way that others love to listen to you. Talk in a way that people love to listen to you. Speak in such a way that others love to listen to you. And listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. If you are a good listener, people would like to listen to you. People would like to speak to you. Yes, my thoughts are being heard. I am being understood. People are listening attentively. So if you listen, people will love to listen to you, speak to you, and speak in such a way that others love to listen to you. We already discussed about silence is golden and but good words are diamonds. What does this mean? That keeping quiet is beautiful. Keeping quiet is beautiful. Silence is golden.
Yes, ma'am.
But good words are diamond. But speaking something, saying something inspirational, motivational can be better than keeping quiet. So you can take down the 7 rules of communication, and at the end of the session, I may ask you, I may give a chance that you can give me the feedback, the the feedback of what you have understood and what are the 7 rules. So the 7 golden rules. The first is true communication goes beyond just speaking. It means when somebody is speaking to you, it does not end there. Good words are carried far and far and far for a long time. But even bad words can carry for a long time. You can feel bad, you can feel sad when you think about how your sister fought with you, or how your mother scolded you for nothing, or how your teacher misunderstood you. But then, remembering something which is positive, we're talking about positive thoughts. True communication. If you say something good to anybody, they will be remembering it for a long time. True communication goes beyond just speaking. It carries on. It will stay in the person's mind for a long time. Effective communication rules are imperative for success. Imperative means important. It is imperative that you listen. It is imperative that you listen for understanding, listen for making presentations, listen for knowledge. It is important. It is imperative. Number one is the first rule is articulate your thoughts. Articulation of thoughts. Think before you speak. So articulation means thinking before you speak. There is one quote against each rule. So a smart person knows what to say. You can take down the quotes. It can help you to make presentations. The first golden rule is articulation of thoughts. It means think before you speak. Thoughts are important. The quote says, a smart person knows what to say. A wise person knows whether to say it or not. Right? A person can give you a negative feedback. Okay, today your presentation was not good. Okay. A smart person will tell you. He'll make you understand that I'm smart and I know what is good and what is bad. So a smart person can go outright and tell you without caring for your feelings, right? The smart person knows what to say. Yes, this feedback is good, but this feedback is not good. But a wise person knows whether to say it or not. So let us making it easy for you to read. Articulation of thoughts means thinking before speaking. Although we are taught this in childhood, as grown-ups, we often forget to implement. We learn all these things, articulation. You must have heard your parents speaking. सोच समझ के बोला करो. सुना होगा ना आप लोगों ने? सोच समझ के बोलो.
Yes, ma'am.
बोलने के पहले कुछ सोच लो क्या बोल रहे हो.
Yes,
सोचो
ma'am.
बोलना चाहिए कि नहीं. ये हम लोग in day-to-day life, we have been listening to such things.
Yes, ma'am.
In schools, in colleges.
By the parents.
Sometimes when you are very angry, you answer back to your teachers. You write back, you WhatsApp. Okay, मेरा मार्क्स कैसे कट गया आप बताइए. They forget that they are talking to their teachers. मेरा सब सही था तो 10 में 10 क्यों नहीं आया मेरा. बताइए कहाँ पर मार्क्स कटा है. So we have been listening to such things. So we don't think when we are ruled under our emotions, we forget who are we talking to. That's why we say, do not speak when you are very angry. Do not write when you are very angry. Do not let emotion rule you. So, yes, we are taught this in childhood, in schools, in colleges, all my life, all our lives. हाँ कहीं ना कहीं ये बात उठती है. क्या बोल रहे हो? समझ भी आ रहा है क्या क्या बोल रहे हो? बिना सोचे समझे बोलने लग जाते. So, although we are taught this in childhood, as grown-ups, we often forget to implement it. Defining a thought before it is said is the foremost rule for any communication. Foremost, सबसे पहले, the first rule is think before you speak. There's also a line which says, think before you ink. It means think before you write something. So, defining a thought before it is said is the foremost rule for any communication to be successful. This makes the conversation specific and result oriented. So if you want good results, you have to be very particular about what you are speaking. Is it a well thought, well defined thought, or you are on your whims Whims means whatever you want to, you're out with it. WHIMS, whims. अपनी मर्जी का मालिक. When I say somebody is whimsical, when I say somebody is whimsical, it means whatever he feels like or whatever she feels like, they speak without whimsical. So let us take incident 1. And the word was, he talks on his whims. जो मर्जी में आता वही बोलता है. He talks on his whims. And whimsical, adjective. He is whimsical. He does whatever he wants to without thinking of anybody else. Incident 1. Now, I do not know whether you will understand it or not, but can somebody read this? No?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, read.
I owe a lot to my parents, especially my father and mother. A statement made by George Norman, famous golfer, which was said without thinking and shows confusion in mind and statement.
What have you understood? Yes? Now tell me what you have understood. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Mahi was reading.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now tell me. You read a short paragraph. What does it mean?
Ma'am, hello.
You want to read it again?
Ma'am, actually, screen share has gone.
All right. What do you
Can you
remember?
share
What did you read?
There is like something I owe something for my parents, and this was said by the famous golfer, and just like this. Actually, I don't read the next sentence properly, so these type of sentences are written.
Yes. So there was a famous golfer. What did he say? And what was wrong with it? Like why people did not like his statement? Yes, why?
Yes, ma'am. I don't know.
All right. Incident 1. I owe a lot to my parents. It means I should thank my parents for whatever they have done for me. I am grateful, I'm thankful to my parents for all that they have done for me. Especially my father. I owe a lot to my parents, especially my father and mother. Now, this is a statement which we cannot change because when he says parents, he talks about both of them. But then this is a statement we cannot change. So I owe a lot. मैं उनका कर्जदार हूँ खास करके मेरे father and mother, especially my father and mother. A statement made by Greg Norman, famous golfer, which was said without thinking and shows confusion in mind and statement. So what is there to be confused about?
Yes, ma'am. Here he has written, I owe a lot to my parents. Then parents already means father and mother. Then he again write that especially my father and mother.
It means
Then here
the
it's a
person is
confusion.
confused and he has not thought about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Before speaking, he did not think about it. And somebody who is a famous golfer, fine, parents always there behind your success. But then there are other people also, like your coach, your teachers,
Yes, ma'am.
your fans, right? When you watch some Bollywood award ceremonies, they always say this: I owe a lot to my mentors, not forgetting my parents, my fans. First of all, I would like to thank the Almighty. So this is what is called, supposing you are students and it's a farewell party. So when you ask, okay, so tell us about your journey of the last 3 years. So what statement will you give? Would you give? Like, I owe a lot to my home. क्या बोलोगे आप? If you think before you speak, what would it be? क्या बोलोगे तुम बताओ? Yes, my Anisha. Or pata hai, anybody?
Yes, ma'am. I owe a lot to my teachers
Parents, teachers.
and not forgetting our parents also that they had sent us
Yes, ma'am.
to acquire this knowledge.
Okay. There are other people also there, like the admin people, the librarian. A lot of people are there.
Yes, ma'am. I
Yes,
told
ma'am. Coach, ma'am.
I owe
Teacher.
to my all teachers.
Yes. And
मैम ये हो सकता है मैम
a lot of interviews come up with some interviews are really good. The feedback, like my success stands with the teachers, the entire academic team. Without whom I would not have been successful. The entire admin team, the entire CIMAGE family, which has helped me to become what I am today. And some people come up with, yeah, I'm really thankful for English communication. I could not speak English, but now I can speak English. I'm really thankful to Pudar sir. I'm really thankful to Sanjana ma'am. And bas that's it. Full stop ho jata uske baad. And they forget if they are students of IT, they should be including teachers, the HOD, and they should be including everybody else. This leaves a bad taste, right? So ये statement है जबकि he is thanking only his parents, especially his parents, and there's nobody else in his life. The mentors, the teachers, the fans, कुछ नहीं बस parents.
मैम यहाँ स्पेशली जो है मैम
हाँ.
तो मैम ये सही भी तो हो सकता है मैम जैसे हम लोग ये भी तो बोल सकते हैं आई ओ अ लॉट ऑफ माय पेरेंट्स टीचर्स एंड लीड फैंस एंड मेनी अदर्स बट स्पेशली थैंक्स टू माय फादर एंड मदर तो यहाँ मैम स्पेशली का मतलब
He
ये हो
did
गया
not say
खास तौर पे
anything.
मैं
He just said, I owe a lot to my parents. The
मतलब
beginning
हम अपने
statement, I
Yes,
owe a
ma'am.
lot to he's talking about parents and only parents. And he's not including anybody else. So this creates that he did not think before he's speaking. And that is why it shows confusion in mind and statement.
statement
Why
yes.
is he so confused? My parents, especially my father and mother, he's repeating it, no? He's repeating
Yes,
his
ma'am.
thoughts.
Their parents already means mother and father.
And you could have included other people also, like parents. If you could have said, I owe a lot to my parents, especially my parents, my father and mother, and people, and everybody who knows me. this would not have caused so much of confusion. Incident 2. Somebody read this. Read.
As the meeting was just about to start, one of our team members entered the meeting room. The manager quickly pointed out, "You are late." This statement was targeted to point out the mistake, which spoiled the environment. If the manager had contemplated a little and had said,
What is the meaning of
"You are..."
contemplated? Had he thought?
Yes, ma'am.
If the manager had thought a little. Yes, continue.
And had said, "You are right on time. We are just about to start," the whole environment would have been uplifted. Words once shouted out can't be taken back. The wrong words or sentences led to embarrassing situations. Avoid this by articulating the thoughts.
Exactly. What is the term uplifted? The whole environment would have been uplifted.
Would have been good.
Raise, ma'am.
Better.
Uplift, raise.
Yes.
What spoiled the environment?
The wrong words
The
that
wrong
you are
word
late.
You are late.
and the blame.
Yes, ma'am. The
You are
manager
late.
pointed
Now,
Yes,
out, you are
suppose
late.
Yes,
as the
ma'am.
meeting is just about to start, you are coming in the class. Okay, you are coming in the class late, right?
Yes.
And the moment you come in, the teacher says you are late.
Yes.
But then, if the statement is changed, then what happens? You will feel bad. You will feel bad. The moment you come, you're getting a bad remark. Somebody blames
yes,
you.
ma'am.
That spoils your mood. That spoils the environment. Right?
Yes.
So instead of that, if somebody says, "Yeah, hurry up and come. We are just going to start," then the whole environment would have been better.
Yes, ma'am.
यस मैम, यहाँ 2 पॉइंट्स है मैम। पहले में वो एंग्री होके बोल रहा है उसके आने पर यू आर लेट, और जिससे पूरा एनवायरनमेंट बिगड़ जाता है।
तो
और
इसमें
दूसरे
क्या
में उसी चीज को नॉर्मली बोलता है कि तुम अभी एकदम राइट टाइम पे हो, अभी स्टार्ट होने ही वाला है
फिर
मीटिंग।
अगर आप ठीक है, आप थोड़ा ज्यादा ही लेट आ गए हैं, लेकिन जब लेट आ ही गया है इंसान, तो फिर उसको फिर पॉइंट करने से क्या फायदा? जो चीज
Yes,
ऑलरेडी
ma'am.
बिगड़ गया उसको और क्यों बिगाड़ना है? उसको संभाला जाता है. And with
Yes.
words, we can set things right. We can sort out problems. So this was the articulation of thoughts. The
मैम यहाँ
biggest-
कंटेम्पलेटेड का मतलब तो हुआ ना मैम, किसी चीज पे विचार करना, मतलब
हाँ,
बोलने से
सोचना, think करना.
यस मैम, यस मैम।
Had you thought about it?
ठीक है।
The second is listening. The biggest communication problem is we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. I think इसको कई बार हम क्लास में बोले भी होंगे. You listen, do not listen to understand. You listen to फट से कोई reply करते. Listen to first understand and then reply. So the second, after articulation, the second is listening. And in the second semester, you have this chapter, listening skills. What are the types of listening? What is loud listening? What is thinking? What is listening? To be a good listener, to be a good speaker, be a good listener. The importance of good listening can't be ignored. Ironically, the majority of us lack in this aspect. We fail to listen. We fail to listen. Or even if we listen, we fail to understand. To communicate clearly, it is imperative to listen. It is important to listen. And listen what? Listen attentively. Not just listen, okay, somebody is saying something fine. But did you listen attentively? No. And there's a difference between listening and hearing. You listen to something, you hear a story, you hear a rumor. But listening is when you're paying attention to something. This is listening. When your mind is there, when you are attentive. Otherwise, you can hear a lot of noise, background noise.
यस मैम, इसीलिए मैम ऐसा कहा जाता है कि मैम एक अच्छा श्रोता ही एक अच्छा वक्ता बन सकता है.
Exactly. A person who is a good speaker,
सही बात है.
he must have been a good listener. Right? To develop the art of good listening, we sometimes need to clarify things that the speaker has said. We want, if there's any barrier, if there's communication, we need to ask, we need to clarify, we need to give the feedback. We also need to be aware of body language. When somebody is saying something, be very observant of body language. What things are said, what things are not said, what is hidden in the body language. Is the person angry? Is the person smiling? So we also need to be aware of body language and to also empathize with the speaker. Be on friendly terms with the speaker to understand the person. Unnecessary arguments on the road, at the office, or at home can be avoided if a conscious effort is made to improve listening skills. So you can avoid a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of unnecessary arguments on roads, at the office. Sometimes it happens on roads. When if people are arguing about something, the third party comes in without listening, without thinking. They try to aggravate. And then the whole crowd comes, and without knowing what is really happening, they come into action. This is mob mentality. This can be avoided if you empathize with whatever is happening, if you understand. All right, today we discussed the 7 golden rules of communication. No, we discussed 2 golden rules.
Only
2.
yes ma'am.
The first was what?
Artificial.
Second was what? And I would like somebody to make the presentation today. Time allowed.
Time over.
Yes ma'am.
2 minutes.
Yes ma'am, on this topic now.
Yes.
Yes ma'am. Today we read lots of thing about from Sanjana ma'am. Today's class is a very interesting class for us because today's class, firstly we know the 7C of communication, and then after we learn about the seven rules of communication. So firstly, what are the 7C of communication? The 7C of communication is the clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. But the second and important thing is that thing of that today's class is that the 7 rules of communication. But we only learned that the two golden rules of communication that is taught by the Sanjana ma'am. The first rule is the articulation of thought. Articulation of thought means that the think before you speak. What can you want to speak? Firstly, you think. That true communication goes beyond just speaking. It is dependent upon articulation of thought. Second is effective communication rules that imperative for success. It is dependent upon think before we speak. And example iska ho jaya, then the example of that articulation of thought is that a smart person know what he say, but a wise person knows whether to say or whether not it say. And the second golden rule of communication is listening. एंड टू अ गुड स्पीकर बी अ गुड लिसनर. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि एक अच्छा श्रोता ही एक अच्छा वक्ता बन सकता है. और it is the today's class and we learn lots of things from the today's class that I attend in a 2 minute. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Pata.